Yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that.
Oh, whoops. That was the wrong button. There it is. I actually took it off the stream. So here's how it started. It said, just about every scene with women in 2017's Justice League undermines a woman's power, strength, and agency. And she leads off. That's an article. It says he said that you were the thirstiest young woman. You know what I mean? It's just like, what? It's such an odd statement. I don't even know why you would include that line in a movie.
I mean, it was part of the reshoot, you know? Like,
yeah. And it's very obvious because, like, you look at the color grading and how it looks compared to the rest of the film and compared to Zach's work. Like, that scene out of all of them is the most obvious reshoot of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this scene right here. And yeah, and then you have the reporter coming in saying, like, hey, I'm taking over your story or whatever. He's like, oh, so you're saying your source is a woman. It was just like the stupidest line. It was like, what? This is such a waste of time.
Right.
So as the thread goes on, which there's the article right there, and I'll go ahead and tweet that out as well. So this is where you kind of carried on with it. You said changes to Wonder Woman's opening scene in 2017 diminished her power and strength as a demigod, which it totally did. And there's a kind of a breakdown right there. I mean, she took a shot to the head. It's totally different.
She wasn't been hit in the back of the head in the newer film. They added in a scene with her getting hit. Like, no man even comes close to her in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I thought that was
throwing guys against the wall. It's totally different. And her hero says, "I don't believe it." And then in the real one, he says, "Wait, panting. I don't believe it." Yeah. So it's like they changed a lot of things about this. What are you, a believer? And she goes, I don't believe it. Believe it, but they had to go ahead and change the dialogue. I mean, it's insane.
Like, I'm one of those people.
Monkeys reference.
I'm one of those people that in the theater, like, it's very easy for me to enjoy what I'm watching. But at the same time, when I was watching Justice League back in 2017, even then I was just I heard that line and I was like, oh, that's cringy. That's not good. All right, I'm gonna get a lot of crap for liking this universe just for that line alone.
Exactly. And so when we keep moving on, I mean, you can see right here. I mean, look, she got airborne because she can actually fly. When you're right here, you said, imagine thinking you needed to change this.
Well, I think so many people, if you remember with the 2017 film, so many people, then Wonder Woman came out, and then you had Wonder Woman 1984, where they're like, oh, if she could fly in this film, shouldn't she have flown in Justice League? And then you go and you watch Zack Snyder's Justice League, and there are moments like this where it's like, yeah, she like kind of can fly. You can argue here that she's just jumping high into the sky, but you have like moments later in the film, and this is in the thread later, where I think it's like towards the very end of the thread. Yeah. So you don't have to go down to it right now. But like, there's that hero shot, the new hero shot in Zack Snyder's film.
Oh, she's clearly flying in that hero shot.
Right. Even the shot before that, where she goes to save Batman, and she's, slicing apart a pair of jeans.
Yeah.
She has to be flying there, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even in BVS, when she's on the plane and they're talking about all this stuff going on over in Gotham, and like, how did she get over there? She took a cab. I mean, she flew. She had
she flew. No, she jumped or ran. No, she flew jumped there. It made a lot of sense. And even here, you're saying the Whedon cut actually added a scene with Wonder Woman getting knocked upside the head. No man ever comes close to touching her in the Snyder cut. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I just, I felt like, and I don't know if this is fact, but as I was watching the entire film, and I know, there was the report that when Joss was doing the reshoots, that Gal Gadot had refused to film that scene with Barry Allen, with Ezra Miller falling on top of her. And then there were reports that like allegedly Joss had, screamed at her, yelled at her, had some encounter with Gal. And me then having that in my mind, whether or not that's true or not, but it made me reanalyze every single scene that I was going through and finding with Gal Gadot's character. And I was like, it looks like he just said, fine, I'm going to strip your character of every bit of agency, of every bit of strength. And like, we're just going to tear you down then, and we're going to make you look like this in the film. And it was so upsetting going through the film.
It totally is. I mean, even in this picture right here, it says in the Snyder cut, the villain simply says, I don't believe it. As in, he doesn't believe that a woman just single-handedly stopped his men without taking a hit. In response to it says, believe it, before annihilating him.
Yeah.
Like it's happening, you jerk.
Yeah, exactly. But it gives her more strength as well, saying, "Believe it," like, because I'm about to whoop your ass. And the other one's totally different.
Did anyone understand what it meant when she originally said a believer in the original cut?
I tried to think back
I'm
to
sorry,
Wonder Woman, and I was like, maybe she said something about believing, but like, I don't. If
No.
anything, like that's at best
So
a very
for me,
vague and
it's
stupid
different.
reference.
Mine was a
So-
monkeys reference, so I was just like, it's probably monkeys,
Yeah, I'm a believer.
I'm a believer.
So when he said, or when she said, "I'm a believer," the only thing I think of is that she's a believer in hope. But then I was like, okay, is this because Superman's going to come back later? I don't. It was just a weird change.
Was it
and
believer or believer? Like Justin Bieber.
Oh god,
yeah, Justin
Jesus.
Bieber.
I think that somehow makes it worse.
That makes it worse. And this one I liked a lot too, Kirsten.
Oh my
when you said
gosh.
Steppenwolf's a giant creep in 2017.
Liam
Justice
Neeson.
League. It
You
seems
love
obsessed
murder.
with conquering Amazons, and this is the part that I don't understand. And I don't know if these were throwaway lines or if they had him actually re-record this dialogue when he's telling the Amazons, "You will all love me." Like what? Like I don't understand. Like where's
Like,
all this coming
why?
from?
Yeah.
Allie,
So
go ahead.
much of that is just so cringy. It's not even like so many people pointed out this line with the like, "You will love me, you all will." But then even when you're watching the scene before that, when the queen is running away and he's going like, "Yes, run," as if like he's like turned on by
I'm
her
really
running
into
away.
this.
He's like, I love how you're running
just
from me.
There's just this whole
Mount
sexual.
your steed.
There's this whole weird sexually charged energy about 2017 Steppenwolf that just
Go
does
into a
not
gallop.
need to be there.
Go
It's just
into
really
a gallop.
gross.
Mount the horse. And it's funny because like in the theatrical cut, he says that weird creepy line, and then she runs away, right? Like she's afraid. But
Mhm.
in Zack Snyder's Justice League, she gets the mother box, and all you see is Steppenwolf going like, oh, like all pissed off, throwing the Amazons around. And what does
And
she
all
do?
the Amazons are boss.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But what does she do? She turns around, she goes off the wall, and then stabs that one parademon, goes to help her friend. Her friend says, "Hey, seal it. You have to do it. You know what I mean? Honor us." And so then she goes. And then not only that, but she saves another Amazon from the parademon. And in the theatrical cut, that obviously did not happen. Instead, they made him a creep. That's like I've said before, he's a creep, and his design is straight.
Weirdo.
He's a weirdo, and his design is straight out of Pirates of the Caribbean.
he doing here?
I mean, he looks like he belongs with these guys. I'm going to say it again. He looks straight out of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well,
So
it's so funny that I believe it was Zach had said that Warner Brothers deemed his original vision for Steppenwolf to be too scary and too dark. Yet you see so many memes right now about how like the new Steppenwolf, he has like those eyes in that one scene where like I don't know if you've seen this, but there are people who have like put a cat head, like they've replaced Steppenwolf, new Steppenwolf head with a cat.
yeah, I've seen
Like,
that.
I just want to go home.
I just want to go home. That's what it says too.
He's just the guy's not accepted by the villains or by the heroes. Honestly, like I kind of wish that the Justice League just had a conversation with Steppenwolf because they probably could have got him onto the good guy's side.
They
and he
could have
would've-
turned him.
I think so. Like
They're
You
like,
mean
hey,
you love me?
They're like,
You all will?
if you join our side, Steppy, you can live with us.
you don't have to destroy 50,000 worlds
Yeah.
in order to go back home.
You can live here rent free.
Will you still call me the thorny fucker?
Golly.
That's
That's
what Zach called him.
Spiky.
Spiky.
Spiky. Okay, spiky,
Spiky,
thorny, whatever.
spiky.
Spiky, thorny.
It's
I
spiky.
call him.
What-
I call him
what-
sad
why
boy.
would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he says, she goes on to say, the Snyder Cut's resident sad boy, Steppenwolf,
He's sad.
that guy just wants to please his corporate overlords and prove himself worthy. He's just there for a box.
Right?
But
just-
I mean,
just
he
wants to
has
be a
much
villain.
more purpose in this
Yeah.
movie. And we were talking about this. Was it like last week? I want to say that, and Dawson was there as well when we were talking about how in this scene here he comes across as this big brooding like monster, just killing people and just throwing horses and Amazons around. He's a beast. But then later on, when you see him talking to Steppenwolf, I mean, talking the dark side, his character completely changes, and all of a sudden now he's he's not as strong as his master is, and you see that he's a weaker character inside. And so I liked that how it changed the look of his character and the progression of his character as well. It just adds layers and layers of depth to his character.
Yeah, there were no levels of depth to his character in the original.
No,
other than
he
being
lacked
a
that
weirdo
greatly.
creep who wanted to conquer the Amazons. And at least in the new film, you get this sense that he's when he's with the Amazons, he's basically like, let me pretend that I'm this like big bad guy that like everyone thinks that I really am. And then as soon as he has a conversation with Darkseid, you like see that totally stripped away. And he's like, okay, I'm actually not a level A bad guy at all. I'm like a level C bad guy, just trying to get up, work the ranks of being a top-notch villain, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, but when you compare the two, I mean, it's like night and day.
Oh, yeah.
And then even if you see, do I have the other one where he doesn't have his spikes? I don't think I do. No, I used to have one where it had Steppenwolf with no spikes on next to like the old Steppenwolf, and he still looked more menacing. But I mean, even there you can see that. I mean, it's a huge difference. So in the next tweet you wrote, "I'm still just baffled by why this Whedon reshoot was needed at all." Yeah, I agree. I don't know why this scene had to be added. I guess it's because the scene they shot where it shows her turning into Martian Manhunter, they didn't know how to work that back in. So they're like, "Oh, let's just redo the whole scene."
They didn't shoot that. They didn't shoot the scene with Harry until after he came back to the film and for the Snyder cut. He didn't film that until this last year.
Right.
So like Martha and Lois interaction was filmed, but not Harry and Lennox.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they needed to film it because Joss decided that he wasn't going to let Lois grieve at home and not work at the Daily Planet, and he decided no, she has to go back to work, but she's not going to be an investigative reporter. We're going to strip her of that, not like strip her of that title, but we're just going to say you can work on fluff pieces instead for right now.
Yeah, because she's like, yeah, I can do that. I can come back to work on fluff pieces, but anything else you want me to do? No, I can't. I'm not strong enough. And we'll actually get to that as well. Yeah, that wig on Amy Adams was awful. Yeah, it's not very good. And so then as it goes on, there are so many crimes against Lois in the 2017 film. First, she's been stripped of her duties as an investigative reporter and put on puff piece duty, something she claims to be perfectly happy with. I said duty. I really did.
You did.
Diane Lane doesn't buy that one. She doesn't buy that. And here's that guy right here. This guy.
What was the purpose of that?
I don't know. You know what? This scene right here, when she interacts with him, I felt like I was watching a TV show.
He's the person. Okay, so they cut out Ryan Choi, and they were like, "Well,
we got to
just put somebody else in there." Yeah, there you go. So it was just somebody else, so that nobody can complain. So this is Ryan Choi, but he doesn't have the name.
Oh,
yeah. You can feel her smiling through the pain.
Yeah. I gotta apologize. I literally just took a screenshot of the picture in my Photoshop. That's why.
I know the cursor.
That's why the cursor is over her mouth.
Like that's an interesting lip piercing.
Yeah. She's like, shh.
That part was cut from the movie. That's Ryan Choi's replacement. It's Nightwing.
Oh no!
Yeah, this scene just pissed me off. It pissed everybody off.
Yeah.
And this goes on for quite a while. I mean, you did almost the entire movie, and this is a long segment.
Yeah.
I mean, look. I mean, even this too. Let's not forget. In 2017, the film added scenes of Wonder Woman's butt and front and center in the frame.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, did we really need that? But it just shows how much
like she's an attractive woman. We have to film her butt. That's what we have to do.
Like,
you have to establish her attractiveness.
You're probably not paying attention anymore, so we're gonna throw this in your face.
Yeah,
it's like all right.
And here's that scene right there. The Flash Aquaman falls on Wonder Woman on her chest in the original film. Snyder Cut doesn't bother her with this it's not even in the movie at all.
Well, Joss said that he would have like lit the film on fire, I think, if he used any shot that wasn't.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Yep.
So that wasn't happening.
So Allie, let me ask you. I mean, when you saw these scenes, and then I don't know if you've seen this thread or not. I mean, how does this resonate with you? I mean, this is. I mean, to me, the sexual jokes they threw in this movie were just over the top. It was over the top stupid.
Yeah, I do remember seeing the original tweet that Kirsten mentioned about being embarrassed to want this as canon. And I mean, when I saw all these, I was like, it was very obvious to me what they're trying to do. Add that type of
that's a good one.
over the top humor. Just force the jokes. it was super obvious. And it was, I mean, especially with like what you guys are talking about right now with the Wonder Woman butt shots, that was also pretty obvious to me too, because Zach doesn't, I mean, he has never, I mean, in BVS, we don't see stuff like that. Even though he didn't direct the Wonder Woman origin story movie, even though he didn't direct that, we don't see anything like that either. And I know it's a female director, but still, like, you have all these, you know, I kind of hated the comparison between like a man's lens and a woman's lens with Patty Jenkins portraying the Amazons and then Zack Snyder, because to me, they were very much on the same page as far as like showing them as powerful and strong and not sexualizing them like at all. I mean, you could easily do that with all these, you know, beautiful women, but I never got that at all from BVS with Wonder Woman. Like I said, the Wonder Woman movie, but then this one is just like, yeah, it's all there. And then also what pissed me off too, we talked about this the other day, was Bruce being a jerk to her for like no reason.
Yeah.
I would
Did
never.
Steve
I don't
Trevor
ever
tell you that?
Yeah,
it was
I
just
don't understand
that whole scene.
that. Like, there was no reason to do that. You know,
I agree.
like at all. It's like he wouldn't say that. Like, why? What would be the purpose for saying that? Is he jealous? Like, it didn't make any sense. Like, all of that was just super obvious. And then when Gal came out and said, or when it came out somehow, and you know, it was said that she refused to film that scene, I was like, good for her. You know, like I'm happy that she refused to film that, because it's just obviously it's a ripoff from Age of Ultron.
Yeah, but you can tell right here that's not even her. See how she's not even looking at the camera?
They had to.
It's a stunt table.
I feel bad for her body double, you know, and Ezra, that they were even put in those situations, and Lois, the thirsty. It was just like, you can actually, I know that, okay, they probably wanted her to look uncomfortable because Martha said that, but like, she actually looked uncomfortable.
Yeah, she actually looked like, why am I reading these lines? This is.
She didn't have to act for that
insulting.
scene. That was just genuine.
Yeah, she was like, oh man, I'm disgusted in this.
There was the other thing. There's another thing that came out today. I saw it this morning. I was really busy at work, but I caught this. Yo, with the Superman Wonder Woman headbutt scene. There's like,
okay, and that I am going to play. That I am going to play.
Yeah, people message.
Okay, so
that
this is it right here. I know the chat's been talking about this as well. I kind of want to get through that other thread, but let's take a look at this because it's just way over the top.
Yeah.
Let me add audio, and then let's take a look. It's gross. And this is what we mean about what Joss Whedon did, and this is which gives more evidence towards what Ray Fisher has been saying. So let's take a look. Oh, wait, can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Let me start over again real quick. I mean, that's pretty apparent.
Very obvious.
Wow. I never noticed that. That is disturbing.
Yeah, it is. And then when I saw it this morning, I was like, yo, wait a minute. I've watched it several times.
Yeah.
People have been pointing out even like more things to me after that thread. There was one other tiny thing. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. I'd have to go back, and I haven't had time to go back and check this one, but it feels right to me where when Bruce Wayne first enters the Flash's hideout, I guess that there's a screen in the background that someone said has like women on it.
Yeah,
and then
it's a K-pop video of these girls dancing, as
Right.
opposed to just having the skull.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, and I was just like, wasn't even looking for that because that wasn't even a scene with
Like,
two
that's
women.
such a pointless change.
It is.
Right.
It is.
But Eric
Like,
has
what
a
can we
point.
put there? A skull? No, not a skull. There's kids watching this. Let's put some ladies on there dancing.
Yeah, but we'll
They
make
don't
it
need to know
K-pop.
what this human skeletal system
We
looks
got rid of
like.
Ryan Choi. Let's make it a K-pop. You know what I mean? It's a Korean pop.
It's a rap.
But here, I mean, Eric has a good point. Her moans sound sexual and Joss's League, and
They
you know,
do.
it's just. And a lot of times, like, I don't like talking about this kind of stuff on my show, but like this was so. At the end of the day, it's so appalling, and I felt like, you know, this is. I really want to talk. I really want to point this out because it's gross, is what it is.
It's offensive.
It's offensive. It totally is.
The whole movie, everything they did to that movie is
kudos
offensive.
to whoever found that out because I never noticed that until I saw that.
Oh, I
video.
know. I mean, yeah. Thanks to whoever's putting
was
these
Alex
things
Lobo.
out because it's awesome to see.
Okay, yeah.
Because I mean, that video is embedded in his
And here.
tweet.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Josh, wait a second. Yeah, Alex, shouts out.
Yeah,
Hey,
Alex
yo.
Lobo's
yeah,
a man,
man.
dude.
Yeah, what's up?
Geek Lograd.
What?
That's his name. His handle.
Oh yeah, Geek Lograd.
Lograd. Yeah.
So this is the next scene. She says Whedon's cut doesn't acknowledge that Wonder Woman is smart enough to disarm Bruce Wayne's security system with a simple line. The Snyder cut fixes that. And what line are we talking about? Here it is right here. He goes, you know, I paid millions of dollars for this building security. She goes, yeah, it looked expensive. So I guess she just like broke it. And then he's all, I paid millions of dollars.
That's what it is.
Well, this line here, I get it. It took her a minute to disable it, but I didn't mind either one. Either one could have worked.
But I get where Kirsten's coming from, though, is that it doesn't give her any credit for even disarming it. It just says, she just ripped the door open.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like, but why make that change? Why take the time?
Right.
Make
There's no
change?
point in that, other than maybe a simple, I guess it was for a joke. But I mean, either one.
What's up, John?
I didn't mind that compared to the groans.
They needed to cut that to get more butt shots.
Ah!
Yeah. Let me just say
They're
one line,
like,
so
can we have a little less dialogue and a little more wonder butt?
A little more
Thank
wonder
you.
butt. There it is. And then the next one, this is a good one too. It says Whedon cut altered Wonder Woman's line and opted for some glam shot of Diana. So this is the difference here. He goes, "This one is mine," and she says, "You overestimate yourself." And instead he goes, "This one will be mine. I belong to no one."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's
Why
what
would
I'm
you not
saying.
want that line? You know?
But they still went to those lengths to change even that line right there. And why would you not want that? I mean,
Yeah, because
it's
his line of
mind-blowing.
dialogue is the same. Well,
Right.
very similar.
Very
Pretty similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So her response, I prefer, Zach's.
Yeah, and Barcy, I agree. They want this shit to be canon. Yeah, freaking
Yes,
right,
and
dude.
that's the whole point. Yeah, that was basically my whole point of going and pointing all of this out.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, obviously, this scene here is complete nonsense.
Mhm.
The Diana butt shot. I'm not even going to pull it up because it's just. And then I like how you go. I wish we were done, but we're not.
I'm so tired.
Wonder Woman's lasso was used against her as a gag for Aquaman to call her gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes, and fierce and strong and it's like,
Yeah.
what?
I forgot about that. Yeah, this movie's ridiculous. Dude. Oh man,
But still,
it's ridiculous.
But the thing about that scene, and I say this in the next tweet, but like you're telling me that someone who is like 5,000 years old, she's a museum curator, she's going to let something as important as her lasso like just lie around anywhere.
Yeah.
she's just like, where's my
On her
lasso at?
body.
Nah, I don't know. Oh, there it is.
Like what?
Well, and another thing too is that in the theatrical cut, when she charges at Steppenwolf and then knocks him into the next room, and she uses her lasso and swings up on top of the little landing area, she puts her lasso away and then pulls out her shield like a soldier.
Yeah, I made
And
a gift.
they
Of that.
cut all that out.
I made a gift of that shit and put it out there this morning.
That scene, I
One
love.
little clip.
I love that clip of how she pulls her lasso in, puts it away, and then rips her shield forward, like a soldier. It's just like, wow, that was badass. And no,
John
of course
in the comments. John in the comments is right. The lasso's are car
yeah,
keys.
lasso's like your car keys.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Exactly. And Rash has a good point too. It's like, why would a woman leave her gear laying around? She's like, oh man, I don't even know where my lasso's at. Oh, there it is, because you're talking funny. No, it's just, and so as we keep going here, Whedon's cut grounds Wonder Woman on the sidelines for most of the final battle. Yeah, and the Snyder cut hints that she could fly. Because I mean, look, she's I wouldn't say she's jumping. I'd say she's flying. What do you guys think,
Yeah, I think she's flying.
Anthony?
She's flying.
Oh, there you go.
She's flying.
You see,
I'm so invested
but
right
see,
now.
it's so weird too because with her doing that, Aquaman can't do either. Just
Aquaman's
Yeah.
clearly jumping. He's clearly
Yeah.
jumping.
Yeah.
And then of course he jumps over that building. He lands on the car, and then that's when the next scene continues on. So that makes sense. The rest of them, those who flew off, and the Flash probably ran around it and really, really fast. But
Yeah, the Flash can't fly.
he can't fly. He could fly, but not that kind of flying. He can run really fast.
She's falling with style. I love the Disney.
She's falling with style. And everyone for the most part agrees she's flying at this point. And they've established that in Wonder Woman 84, Aquaman jumps. There you go, Andy.
They established that Wonder Woman 84? Where was that at?
What?
The Aquaman jumps.
No, I say they established
Aquaman
that
jumps
No,
in
I
in
know,
Wonder
I
Woman
know.
84. Everybody knows this. Come on,
Everybody knows this.
Dawson.
Yeah, just like how Ryan got you with Jon Stewart is in BVS. Like,
He
yeah,
is in
Jon
BVS.
Stewart, the host of
Jon
the Daily
Stewart
Show.
is in BVS. I'm not lying.
He sucked. Oh my god. He said that
What?
line and Dawson got so he was like, what are you talking about? Like it took like 2 minutes for him to like get through that, and then finally he dropped the punchline. It was like, oh god, it's so
Yeah,
bad.
that was hilarious. Good
He
job.
was always intended to be in this universe, and he was.
So Wonder Woman is denied her right to finish off the villain in the theatrical cut. And I
Instead,
mean,
you know what drives me nuts? Like you have displayed here, they used her BA decapitating shot to
Yeah.
simply destroy his weapon. It's
Which
like,
could've done a lot
really? What a
I mean, you say it
downgrade.
right here when she broke his axe. He wasn't like smart enough to be like, oh, just whack her with the handle or like use his fist. He just like, huh? He just stares at it like, no,
He's
it's
like,
not
axe!"
happening. He was like in shock. I was like, what's happening right now?
It's like if that's what they were gonna do to defeat him, they could have done that a long time ago. Like you wouldn't have to save that for the final battle.
Exactly.
It was anticlimactic. They used that awesome shot of her, like Dawson said, to really. I mean, no, she could do
Wasted.
much more than that.
They gave him the old Lion King scar ending with his hyenas, his parrot
Oh,
demons.
they
That's
did.
exactly
Right?
That's
Oh my
it's so
god.
funny that you said that because
my
my
God.
kids were watching Lion King the other day, and I told my husband, I was like, "That's what they did with Steppenwolf and the parademons." I can't believe that's so funny. You just said that. I told my husband that recently when my kids were watching Lion King.
Well, I mean,
I've watched that
they
movie
did the same thing with Hades
That's
in the
hilarious.
Hercules movie, Disney Hercules movie. He
Yeah,
got
it's true.
pulled down. They did the same thing to
All of that movie did it much better.
what was it? Amotep in
Imhotep.
The Mummy Returns.
Imhotep.
Emotep.
Mummy? Yeah.
In The Mummy Returns.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, so it's been done, guys.
It's been done. And Kirsten, I know you have to go soon, but let's just get through this real quick. Do you have a few more minutes with us?
Yeah, let's keep it going. This
Okay,
is
let's
fun.
keep it going. Let's keep it going. Okay. So
Let's go.
let's go.
Let's see those fire emojis.
Yeah, fire emojis in the chat.
It's fire.
What were you gonna say?
Go.
Before you so rudely interrupted her.
I know,
Why
right?
didn't
Wow,
No,
what a
no, no.
host.
I was gonna do the sirens where people go like, "Mom, mom, mom, mom."
Oh yeah. Okay, so as this goes
well
on,
synchronized, everyone.
It was,
I
it
know,
was,
well
it was.
synchronized.
Good effort.
There are a few more moments that I didn't list here. Thanks for taking time to read this. It's like the very end of it. but definitely take a look at this. I mean, she brings out a lot of good points on how they just like totally bash these female characters. And the studio let this happen. And I think that when you look back to what Ray Fisher has been saying, they were an accomplice in letting this kind of behavior take place.